just to give you a simple example. If I only care about the result run from Weka or whatever tool you use about the so-called the accuracy, and then I give you a profile from the Homeland Security, look at all this data of the people they are tracking. You just claim none of them are terrorists. Your accuracy is very high, might be 99% accuracy, because the terrorists are not this many anyway. And this 1% is exactly what they need. Unfortunately, the training data, the testing data, the actual data are very imbalanced, I would admit. So that 99% means nothing, because that's a baseline. That's a baseline. If you can identify the real one is not the accuracy, the one to recall. If there are so many of them, what's the recall rate? Your recall is 0. Okay, I would admit, do you still remember what is the recall and what's the precision? And look here. It's very easy to know the quality classify always have most number here and the small number here, right? And true positive, true negative, that's what you're looking for. But unfortunately, regardless of how well you can do based on the data, if it's a valuable case, you always have false negative and false positive. The cost of this mistake, most of the time, is not the same. Not the same. Look at, if I look at the patient could be suspected to have cancer. Again, let me repeat. If you have true positive, means the patient has cancer and you need them to do the cancer treatment. That's fine. That's what the money is worth. Or he does not have cancer and let him go home. Fine. That's good. Good news. There are another two cases. One, in the actual class, he does not have cancer. In the actual class, he has cancer. But your diagnosis says he is cancer-free. And this is called a false negative. Let him go home. Next year, come back. And then later stage. Or he really have no cancer, you diagnosis he possibly have cancer. That's another mistake. Well, can you clearly see the uneven cost of these two mistakes? So that's where the one word called play safe, right? Get the second opinion mean. In this case, you have to play safe. What you are targeting is not going to maximize this accuracy. What you are targeting is minimize this combined cost. Well, if it's a cancer, the cost may be even not measurable by money when you get it, delayed treatment. But let's say diabetes, you can count if you miss a year of timed treatment, could cost you $100,000. But if you do further diagnosis, you assume it's a false positive. That maybe cost $10,000. Then you can see the cost of false negative is 10 times of the false positive, right? So if you use the naive Bayesian method, you remember the naive Bayesian is very simple. Just look at the probability altogether. If you pass 51%, and then they're going to say you are positive. If you are below 50%, they're going to be negative, right? But this time, I'm probably going to adjust this probability. in any time, because the cost of this mistake is 10 times then the false positive, I'm going to adjust this penalty function 10 times. Maybe as long as you pass the 30% threshold, I will diagnose you as positive instead of 50%. You know, and in that way, the total penalty of your error will be smaller, right? That's the whole idea. But how to do it, that's another issue. You don't have to do that way. You can also, in the training case, repeat those positive case 10 times. And then this positive case will have 10 times the weight because it's over-trained. If they got it wrong, the penalty is 10 times. Make sense? Because in the same case I repeated 10 times, if you get it wrong, get 10 times wrong, right? And then the penalty function is 10 times. That's another way to do it. So anyway, Sean, you guys have any questions?
I think we're good.
Okay, because that's a part of research, because you are not really doing a theory, you are doing an application. You really need your boss to be happy. So another thing is the baseline, the concept for baseline. Well, in this example, they showed the result here. You see, those are the correct answer, right? You add together, that's 140. Yeah, 140 over 200, you get 70% of accuracy. Look pretty good, right? 70% depends on what. If it's stock market, that's super. However, if you look random guess, the market could be up and down. Only two cases, if you just close your eye to say, you still get about 50% of accuracy. Look at that. That's 64 plus 18, that's 82. 82 divided by 200, still have 41% of accuracy, because this is another by classes. You have 3. 40% random, just random guess. So your gain is not a real 70% of accuracy. You need to take away the baseline. Make sense? And then the k-pi statistic is it's what you observe, which is 140 minus randomer, that's about 82. 82 divide the perfect, that's 200 minus this total 82. That's the real gain. Means you will gain the information is about 20%. That's the gain. That's the k-pi. You can think about it here. 140 minus 82 is 58. 58 divided by 112. Okay, it's about 49%. It's 49 to 50%. That's your gain. Well, again, look, if you come to me, you say, hey, today I met a student, boy or girl, at Embry-Riddle. I just say, a boy, a man. I get 80% of right, because I know the prior probability is 80% of men and 20% of women, right? So that's a baseline. You don't need to do anything, you get this baseline. Your gain is nothing, unless now you get further information, and maybe the height, the weight, the shoes size, whatever information you give to me, I can gain information. The k-pi focus on the gain. And when I evaluate your work, I'm not going to think about accuracy. And I'm going to look at the k-pi, how much information you gain from your learning procedure. And also this is going to tell me how I'm going to evaluate who got in the end A or B or something. It's about how much you gain. Because I told you this is not going to be comparable from anybody. because we have a class, really the baseline are all different, and then the knowledge from the beginning to the end, how much you know about this course based on and your background, that's always in the equation. So it's, again, how much you showed me in the take-home test, the homework, and then the project. You showed me if you get both, the classification and something more, of course, you are a strong student. If you only, the bottom line is the classification is the baseline, and we want you to get through the basic things.